Thank you so much for joining me with the weekly check-in for Ditching Diets and Die. I'm going to say from the outset, I am not in the best place this week. I feel like my mood has been up and down, and if given the choice, I probably would have wanted to skip today. But one of the things I'm trying to do is make sure that I show up even on the days where I don't really feel like it. But I also thought I might as well be pretty honest. And there's a few different reasons that my mood has been kind of up and down, but I think it's actually really important to think about how that connects with the type of stuff I'm doing. Because this is marathon type work, meaning you need to do it over the long haul. And on the weeks where you're just not feeling yourself, you still have to stick with it and remember your purpose and what's important. So that is what I'm trying to do. And as far as keeping myself accountable, showing up each week as a way to capture how this is going, I think it's really important to just show up anyway, but also be honest with you that if given the choice, I probably would have wanted to skip today, which is also one of the reasons my hair, I just tried to pick the quickest thing I could do. Anyway, if you are here, please say hello, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's start with the good, because there was some good. The first thing I want to say is thank you so much to everyone who commented on the I talked about other people's reactions last week, and I was kind of sharing how I was a little perplexed. I didn't really know why people were telling me about their diets when I would tell them I'm trying to not diet, and I didn't really know how to react. But I got really good input from a number of you on why people would be sharing about their diet when I tell them I'm trying to get away from diets. And you said some really great points around this whole idea that people are kind of trying to justify what they have chosen to do. So maybe a little bit of cognitive dissonance. Like, I see how what you're doing is beneficial, but also I think what I'm doing is beneficial. So you feel the need to maybe discuss it. And also, there's sense making. Like, people need to make sense of what it is that they are doing. So I think that's really helpful. So I do want to say thank you so much to those of you who did decide to chime in and share that. I've also got some really great comments on my hair posts and some curiosity. So I shared that I discovered my hair is actually not as straight as I thought it was. It needs help. Even this today feels a little unruly. But a few of you were interested in what I actually do now that I've figured out that my hair does curl. So I'm going to be putting together a video on that. So that will be upcoming. The other thing that was, I guess, good is that I did an experiment. I'm not sure it fits in the good. It probably just doesn't fit in a category yet. So the jury is out. But I bought some new products which for my hair, so clarifying shampoo and conditioner. And really, I've been reading about it for a while. And the whole idea is to make sure that you get any of the product and really do a deep clean of your hair every 3 to 5 shampoos. I haven't figured out yet what my new thing will be, but that is something that I'm trying. And it feels fun to try something new, especially if it can help to clean out your hair. Now, let's move on to the next thing, which is the bad. And so for the bad this week, aside from my mood, uh, is that I have not figured out snacking. And I know that sounds strange, but really, I think I was out of the habit for so long because I felt like you shouldn't snack, you should just have meals, they should satiate you and then take you to the next meal. And so I didn't really, and I also found that when I was snacking, it was based on what I thought I should be snacking on, not necessarily something that my body wants. And so I'm really trying to pay attention. What are the things that I actually want or that my body wants? And I know that sounds strange, but there can be the stuff that I want, like my brain wants, the dopamine hit, etc. But then there's also sometimes when I listen to my body, it just legitimately is saying, this is actually what I want. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments if you are with me on this whole difference between what you want and what your body knows that it wants. So I found that I've been out of the routine for so long that the idea of having snack foods in the house is a bit foreign to me. But I want to say, what kinds of things do I want to have? Now, the good news is I have gotten a lot better at not feeling the need to eat whatever I bring in the house. So I know I can bring in quote unquote snack food and not worry about it, but I can't always predict what I'm going to feel like. And I also don't want to waste food. So that is something that I consider this in the bad category right now because I feel confused. And so if you have suggested, tell me your favorite snacks and whether they are on the more nutritious side or less nutritious side. I'm just curious to hear what are your go-to snacks because I could use some help in this area. This is where I feel a little bit lost. Something I did do is buy a couple of different dips and I cut up some carrots and I've got some crackers and things like that, which could be a nice snack. That's my first attempt. So we will we will see how it goes. The next thing that I kind of fall into the bad category is just noticing how my mood and emotions are really making me think about those foods that are really comfort foods, which I know are not necessarily what my body needs, but it's like my emotions are telling me that they need them. And I am trying to discern whether or not I actually do. You know what I'm saying? Now, one of the things when it comes to embracing freedom from diets and reading about intuitive eating and health at every size and those different resources is that sometimes you are going to eat when you are not hungry. You're not necessarily going to be hungry when we're celebrating someone's birthday, but you might have a piece of cake anyway. So there's stuff like that. But then when it comes to emotional eating, I think there's a lot of emphasis on being mindful and to just really pay attention. Am I actually hungry, or am I trying to maybe escape something or not deal with a problem? Which is, I think, what's going on this week, which kind of brings me to the next category, which is the ugly. And this is where I am feeling this pull backwards towards some of the previous behavior, like self-criticism and self-judgment. And I know part of that is because I'm not in the best headspace right now. And so questioning the long haul, just questioning a lot of things in general. Like, is this a good idea? Did I make a mistake? What's going on here? And I think that's natural, but man, it feels gross when you're in it, especially when you've committed to showing up weekly and talking about what you're going through. There are going to be times where you're just not feeling it and start to question it. Now, I know based on what I've done so far that this is really important, but when I say the ugly is being pulled backwards, it's starting to notice these thought patterns of judging myself, maybe judging my body, judging my hair, just all that stuff that comes up, especially when you look around and you see all this other stuff out there and kind of just questioning what is going on. And so I think the other thing is that I am noticing, I think, I shouldn't, there's all the shoulds and shouldn'ts, and I don't love that. But in these cases where I know I am not in the best headspace and that it's affecting my choices, I know the tools that I should be using, like journaling, like trying to maybe talk to a trusted friend or someone who gets what's going on or at least is empathetic to it, and trying to work it through instead of escaping. Because I think that's what I am being pulled to right now, is I feel like I just want to crawl away and escape what's going on. And I know I need to confront it head on, and I haven't done that yet. So I kind of classify that as being a bit in the ugly category, even though I really don't, it makes it sound like I'm judging myself really badly. I'm not. I would say that I am just acknowledging the fact that I am not doing the work that's actually going to help me move forward. So by saying this, I am kind of committing verbally, and this is my accountability, that I'm going to do some of those things that involve facing head on what is going on, what's happening. And I know that my mood is not necessarily because of the food or my decision to quit diets and die. I know that there are other things going on in my life, which I won't get into because I can pick and choose what I share and what I don't. But I know that this is trickling into these other areas and that it's kind of pulling me into these old headspaces and thoughts that are not necessarily helpful. I know that I'm being vague, and I know that I don't always love that because when someone tells me something's going on but they don't want to tell me more, I get really curious. But I also recognize they're human and everyone gets to pick and choose what they share and what they don't share. And so I hope that you can respect that. I also know that once I start taking action towards whether that's journaling or meditation, talking to friends, that kind of stuff does bring me back. And so I don't think that this is going to be a prolonged thing. I'm not going to be a big Debbie Downer here on this channel. And the other thing that I want to do is make so I guess as far as a forward thinking thing, is that I know when I am not in my best headspace, which happens, it happens all the time, but right now it feels longer than usual. However, what my plan is to do for the next little bit is to make a meal plan not by myself, I'll make it with Phil, but to say, what are some of the things that we want to do, prepare in advance? Because there are days when I just don't feel like it, but I know I need to honor my body. I need to respect it. I need to give it nutritious food. And so planning that in advance. So that is my intention for the next 24 hours, is to come up with a meal plan, and then also to start talking to friends, start journaling, start doing the things that I know will help me instead of escape. That being said, the one thing I do want to say is that if you are looking for something that just genuinely makes you feel good inside, I highly recommend the show Ted Lasso. This is a total departure, but it's something that this week we've been watching. It's on Apple TV, and it's just endearing, just kind of heartwarming. And so if you are looking for something heartwarming as a nice place to escape, because there's a lot of messy stuff going on, big fan. Let me know also if you have watched it and if you also enjoy it, because it's just a nice thing. I like to share those things that lift me up, and right now I think the world could use a little bit more Ted Lasso. So I'm going to keep it short this week. This is my update. And I'd love to hear from you about snacking. And also, are there other things that lift you up when your mood is low? What helps you? I would love to hear from you. So do leave that in the comments, and I will see you soon.